Everybody and their mama been putting up numbers in the NBA this season. And I haven't seen anybody give y'all a thorough and accurate analysis about why. I haven't. I've only heard people be polarized on it. Either they're saying these guys are just better than ever, they just more skilled than ever, oh, all this shit. Or they're saying that it's just no defense. And people are just saying it's like it's no in between, there's no nuance, there's no analysis. And that's what we get in big sports media. That's what we get in big sports media. When you fire analysts and you just keep hot take artists, okay? But that's why you come here to me, okay? And I am your homeboy first. And this is the realest, most entertaining show in the game. Put it on some, okay? So hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, hit that share button, and put all your people on it, okay? So let me give y'all the real on why scoring is up in the NBA. Okay, why you got these boys out here going crazy like you do? I think Steph just went for 60 last night. You got guys going for 70 and all, and now people really thinking though somebody might go get Kobe's 81, somebody might go get Wilt's 100. That's the speculation. Let's see why this is even a thought now. Number one, okay, threes. Threes, okay? Three is worth more than two. Simply is. Okay. And see, these guys now are playing in an era where coaches get it. Coaches understand that value. Coaches understand that, yeah, it's a longer shot, but I'm going to get that extra point. Coaches understand that long twos are dumb as fuck. Okay. And that's something that coaches in the 80s and 90s, unfortunately, they didn't get it. And when I'm speaking on that, I'm talking about long spot up twos. If you go watch 80s and 90s basketball, you saw a lot of cats taking long spot up two pointers when all they had to do was take a step back, get their team that extra point. And that was stupid. Okay. Yes. Yes. We have some of the biggest name coaches in the 80s and 90s, guys who what they came out with that list. They came out with that list of what 15 coaches, I think, that they were calling the GOATs. No, same time they came out with the NBA 75, they gave us 15 coaches. Okay. And you had guys on there like Pat Riley and Phil Jackson and all that kind of stuff. But obviously they didn't have enough damn sense to tell their shooters, hey man, give me up some more threes. Give me up some more threes. Quit spotting up for that long ass two-pointer and go ahead and take that tray ball. So the fact that coaching staffs have figured that out, whether it was through the analytics revolution or just common damn sense, okay? And then what's that man name? D'Antoni. I know he was instrumental in this even before we got Steph. Folks just give all the credit to Steph. But Mike D'Antoni was very instrumental in this shit as well. Now, let's not forget him. All right, but no, it's a smart thing to do. People were taking jump shots back then too. Everything wasn't a block touch or penetrating and mid-range artistry and shit like that. Okay, some guys were taking spot up jumpers. Some guys like Horace Grant comes to mind when I think about the Bulls dynasty. He took a lot of long spot up jumpers. Luke Longley took a lot of long spot up jumpers playing with Michael Jordan. Okay, if I think about the bad boys, Lambert was a stretch five. Okay, I've seen him shoot some threes, but a lot of them was long twos. Okay, he could have shot more threes. Or Byron Scott, who for his career was a 37% shooter from three ball. Okay, He had years of 43% from three. And I'm around all these. 44%, 40%, 42%, 39%. Another year, 39%. But for his career, he took 2 threes a game. This was stupid. This was stupid coaching. Okay. One of the greatest shooters of all time, at least in our minds, when we think about shooters and we think about GOATs who are also shooters. Y'all know we think about Larry Joe Bird, averaged 24 and 10 and 6 for his career. But we do think about that trade ball. But much of that comes from us thinking about uh his legendary performance in the three-point competition. Because while he, for his career, was a rounding 38% three-point shooter, having years of shooting 41% from three, 43%, 42%, 40%, 41%. I see a 39% on here, 41%. I'm just giving y'all the highs. Okay. Again, overall, 38% from three for his career. But he only took 1.9 threes per game. There's a video out there circulating on social media or YouTube, one of them, where he talks about we didn't even practice threes. They called it a clown shot, a dumbest shot, a gimmick shot. They ain't practiced that shit. So what you saw in the three-point competition, that man just like that. Imagine if he was in this era where it's emphasized and he would actually practice it. And this man had a good work ethic. Imagine what his numbers would look like. So that was bad coaching back then. Ignorant coaching. I know it was still new, okay, but at least, goddamn it, by the 90s, it should have gotten better. They should have seen that, how beneficial it could be. Nope, nope. When you think about the 90s and you think about the trade ball, who come to mind? Reggie Miller, right? Reggie Miller for his career was 40% from three-point land, okay? But he got up only 4.7 threes per game. That man Steph shot like 23 threes last night. He attempted like 23 threes last night. For his career, the highest attempts per game from the three-point line that Reggie Miller ever had was 6.6 in the 1996-97 season. That's it. That's it. His second year in the league, the man shot 40% from three, but only took 3 attempts. It wasn't smart. You think about Ray Allen, okay? Ray Allen came into the league 1997. You're going to say, I know Ray Allen was getting them things up. No, he wasn't. No, he wasn't. Ray, for his career, is 40% from trade ball. Ray shot 5.7 threes per game. It's just different, y'all. It's just different. I think the change is necessary. I think the change is correct. Okay. I would like to see some more post touches. Okay. That's an enjoyable aspect of the game that we're not getting. Okay. But it's a different game. Larry Bird averaged 1.9 threes per game for his career. LeBron James averages 4.6. One is known as a lethal shooter. The other one is known mostly for his driving ability. Because he plays in this era, he's attempted more threes per game for his career than Larry Joe Bird. So that's one. Let's go to two. Spacing. Spacing. See, allowing your shooters to shoot opens up the floor for your slashers, for your penetrators, for your boys who can go get to the bucket. And the coaches back then couldn't recognize that. They couldn't recognize it. Imagine Michael Jordan averaged 30 points per game for his career. Imagine what he would have done if Phil had enough common damn sense to let Craig Hodges, who was a burner, let BJ Armstrong, who was a burner, let John Paxson, who had a burner, let them boys space the floor and shoot these threes so Mike and Scotty can more easily get to the hole, man. It would have been harder for the Detroit Pistons to be clotheslining Mike if they had to stay attached to Craig Hodges in the corner. But instead, you got him inside the arc and shit. You ain't got nobody spacing the floor. Horace Grant could have been a stretch four. He had a great mid-range jumper. With practice, that could have been a great three-pointer. But no, because he's inside the arc, now whatever big motherfucker guarding him, whether it was John Sally or Mahorn or Lambeer, whoever the hell it is, now they're closer to the basket. So now when Mike penetrates and try to dunk that bitch, he finna get his head taken off. Why? Because there's less space. It's less space. So now it's good that we get to see the best ball players in the world operate in space now. They get the boogie. Because now it's harder for the defense to just clog the lane. Now, also, it's harder for the defense to have to recover. So now, let's say they do play good defense on that penetration and you kick to a shooter. Now, I have to cover more ground to get out there and challenge that shot. And now, if they got any sense to them, now they can attack that closeout. And great things happen when you attack a bad closeout. It makes defense harder. It makes scoring easier. So that's two. Let's go to three. Player freedom. Player freedom. Okay, now I've already kind of alluded to this, that these players today have more freedom than before. Okay, now I was talking about with the 3-point shot, they have more freedom. Okay, guys back then didn't have you gonna get your ass taken out of the game out there just jacking up threes. You were. Now they want your ass. Get them up, get them up, get them up. Darvin Ham started this year trying to tell Anthony Davis, telling Anthony Davis is not Steph Curry. And he's a four. His head coach said, I want you to shoot more threes. That's more freedom. But also, when I talk about freedom, I'm talking about guys like Jokic. Everybody thinks Jokic is just, oh my God, we've never seen anything like this before. That doesn't mean, though, that Jokic is the first baller with the ability to do what he's doing. He's not. He's not. It's just that once upon a time in America, if you brought that ball up that court as a big, the coach was gonna cuss your ass out. They're gonna tell you grab the board, find your guard, outlet to your guard, or do a West unsail outlet pass down the court. But you better not bring that bitch up. You find your guard and you haul your big ass down there and find a block and get down there and go to work. But we've seen he ain't even the first European we've seen with this level of versatility. Vlade Divac was versatile as fuck. Arvydas Sabonis. Okay, but there are some Americans as well. Shaq could bring the ball up the court back in the gap. Yes, he could. Chris Webber was hella versatile. Chris Webber will tell you himself, though, he got highly criticized for displaying his guard skills, for shooting threes. You know what I'm saying? Like if he had the freedom, he could have shown us all kind of shit. Kevin Garnett, big ticket. Many of you may have seen the viral clip of him operating in, I think, Team USA practice, killing bigs and smalls in a full court one-on-one drill. In this era, man, he could have got down. been bringing that bitch up and doing all this shit, and he could defend though. Okay, elite defender. Come on, man. These guys have more freedom. Some of these dribble moves that folks are just like, oh my God, these guys back then had them handles. Come on, man. They were calling that shit. They were calling that shit. A lot of these moves that we marvel at are based off the fact that they ain't calling the carry. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, my hezzy gonna be mean when you ain't calling this a carry. Yeah, my crossover gonna be meaner when you ain't calling this a carry. You feel me? Well, now and some might say, well, you ain't say that about Allen Iverson. There was a debate between Allen Iverson and Tim Hardaway who crossover you took. And there were many people who preferred Tim Hardaway's crossover because it didn't have a carry element in it, for real, for real. His crossover was more quick, straight to the point. AI's crossover was more exaggerated. And initially they were calling his shit too. But they figured out this the entertainment business, Jay. And fuck all that, the fans want to see the fans ooh and ah when these folks do that. So fuck that. We ain't calling it no more. We ain't calling it no more. Okay? So these players have a freedom that a lot of these prior cats in the NBA just didn't have. You feel me? A lot of these moves that you seeing today, we saw cats actually do that in our hoods. We saw cats do that shit doing hoop sessions. We saw folks on the And One mixtape tour do all that shit. Skip to My Lou, Hot Sauce, The Professor. We saw them boys do all kinds of shit. But in the league, you couldn't do that. Your coaches weren't gonna let you do that. The rules were not gonna let you do that. They're gonna accuse you of over dribbling. Now, shit, when James Harden was in Houston, the offense would let James dribble. Kyrie, that's his game. He gonna over dribble. But it's gonna lead to It's gonna lead to social media engagement. They want that. Player freedom. Some of this shit you see Steph do, some of the shots this boy takes would get your ass chewed out, pause, by your coach. I was, doing my Michael Jordan research on his playoff career, and I was watching the Bulls versus the Knicks. And I want to say it was either Greg Anthony or John Starks. It was some guard for the Knicks. Came down and took a quick three. Man, Pat Riley subbed that motherfucker out so quick. And I'm like, damn, that's a routine three today. You know? Routine three. These boys just got freedom that these other guys just did not have. Okay. A lot of this stuff gonna get your ass fucked up. Okay. And that was at all levels of basketball, not just the NBA. That was at college. That was at the high school level where I played and coached. My coach Keith Barnes, shit, had me terrified to play like I played in the hood. Motherfucker come watch me play. I'm like, man, why you ain't shooting the ball like you be doing? That man crazy. That man's crazy. I'm not finna get out here and do that. I wasn't. Okay. And I had shit. Tray ball in my game. I had a step back in my game. I had a fadeaway jump in my game. I had a mean reverse, that classic Jordan shoulder ball, reverse layup. I had that shit in my game. I didn't try that shit while being coached by him. I wasn't gonna get my ass kicked. It was a different world, man. Now I see high schoolers shooting that bitch from the timeline routinely. Shooting it from the logo routinely. High schoolers. Folks have more freedom now. So that's one of the reasons that scoring is up. Okay. Let's go to another one. Now, some folks don't want to admit this, but the rules have been either changed for the casual fan or the rules are not being enforced. Okay. Rules are not being enforced. Let's look at some of the rule changes. In NBA basketball, you ain't got 10 seconds to get that bitch across half court. You got 8. You got 8. You don't see that nowhere else. All right. You don't see that in college. You don't see that in, at least I don't think you see it in college. Okay. You definitely don't see it at high school level. 8 seconds. Why? Speed this bitch up. Want to encourage more scoring. You pull an offensive board in the NBA. That clock doesn't reset to 24 seconds. They be reset to 14. Why? Speed this bitch up. We want more scoring. One more scoring. Okay. Freedom of motion. Taking out the hand check. Shit. Even taking out mostly you putting the forearm on motherfuckers. They want you strap right here. Makes it more difficult to defend. The league commissioner, Adam Silver, while being interviewed by Kevin Garnett, basically admitted, he said, hey, in the late 90s, it got too physical where big, strong guys could take advantage of or make it more difficult, make it too difficult for smaller or highly skilled guys to get off. And so we wanted to, create a game that was more pleasing. See, some folks out there don't know about 90 to 88. Some folks out there don't know nothing about Heat versus Knicks. Some don't know nothing about even early 2000s Nets versus Spurs or Pistons versus Spurs. I know something about that. I was there. But I still loved it because it was basketball. It was still competitive. You feel me? But the casual fan did not like that shit. So you were able to get away with that in 96, 97, 98 because you still had Michael Jordan driving the train. You know what I'm talking about? Conducting the train. But once he left, they're like, oh shit. And even though you had Shaq and Kobe, when you had a finals that didn't feature Shaq and Kobe, they didn't like them ratings. See, 99, you had Knicks, Spurs. New York market, okay? But shit was kind of ugly if you're casual. 2000, 2001, 2002, you got the Lakers in there, okay? Star power. Kobe, Shaq, the Lake Show, Phil Jackson, okay? But then 03, you got New Jersey Nets versus Spurs. Ooh, they ain't like that. Tim Duncan. Or Jason Kidd, though. Throwing lives. But really, that was a defensive team. Ain't like that. 04, okay, we got the Lakers back in it against the Pistons. So, okay. But 05, Pistons versus Spurs. Ooh, it ain't like that. So they start cooking some things, man, to make the game more aesthetically pleasing to the casual fan. They did. They did. But also with certain rules not being enforced. I alluded to them not calling carry earlier, but we all know that they do not call travel in the NBA, and it's a travesty. It's a travesty that you letting the best players in the world basically go out here and play football, just walking up and down the court, running up and down the court with the goddamn ball. And I'm supposed to be amazed by that. That's a walk. Oh, that's an escape dribble step back. That's a walk. That's a crab dribble. That's a walk. That's a gather step. No, that's a walk. Stop it. Stop it. Refs be looking right at the man and will not call a walk. Why? Because they want them to get that move off so it can go viral. It's another reason why scoring is up. You get to break the goddamn rules. Best players in the world don't have to play by the rules. Scoring should be up. Shit. And lastly, whether folks want to admit it or not, there is a lack of defense. There's a lack of intensity. Now, was every single game intense in the 80s and 90s? No. No, of course not. One thing pops in my mind, like if every game was intense, the Bulls would have been 73-9 instead of 72-10. They wouldn't have lost to Rex Chapman in them that year. But they played them boy a week on that road trip. Rex Chapman say he saw them boys out the night before. Okay? And this is Michael Jeffrey Jordan. the maniacal Mike Jordan. Okay. So yeah, sometimes even the craziest motherfuckers of that time didn't take every single game as seriously as the others. But this shit here, now, come on, man. This load management shit, this rest, which the NBA is sanctioning. Wow, they got this 65 game rule in place that these motherfuckers are complaining about because they got to bring their ass to work. Well, it still ain't helping. We just saw Anthony Davis and LeBron skip the game the other night against the Boston Celtics, and then the NBA Twitter account is gonna sit up there and say, AD and LeBron coaching up their guys. What the fuck? Ain't nobody paying for them to coach. Folks want to see them play. What are we doing? What are we going? But that's just an example of how there's a lack of intensity. There's a lack of motherfuckers even wanting to play, let alone once they get out there, play hard. So that's one thing. Also, again, Adam Silver admitted that they legislated some things out to make it easier for guys like Steph to display their talent. That's why you got these Europeans over here saying it's easier to score in America than it is overseas. We used to kick them damn Europeans in their fucking mouths. And now they're coming over here saying that our league is easy shit. Because they've legislated that shit that way. Also, though, with this defense, it's because everybody's switching everything. So just like I called the coaches stupid in the past for not allowing motherfuckers to shoot threes and give that spacing, you got to call the coaches of today stupid for switching everything defensively. Okay. It's stupid. Now, some gonna argue, no, they ain't stupid because you keep somebody in front of the ball at all times. That only makes sense if you got 5 switchable players on there. Let's say you got the 96 Bulls, I guess. Okay. And that shit, all them ain't switchable. Because if you gonna switch Luke Longley on to trying to think of a guard of his day with some dance on Tim Hardaway. Let's say you switch Tim Hardaway, excuse me, Luke Longley comes up and is involved in screen roll action, and instead of hedging and shit, they switch. Now he on Tim Hardaway. Tim Hardaway literally might have broken Luke Longley's legs with a crossover. Yeah, 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 bam. There go Luke Longley on the ground. Because ain't no way in the hell that a center supposed to be able to guard an elite point guard on the perimeter. But with these motherfuckers switching everything, you be seeing Steph get the dance out there with these centers all the time. You see it. You got to give props. A lot of folks don't give Kevin Love props for what he was able to successfully do in that 2016 finals. Everybody want to talk about the damn chase down block that didn't even happen at the end of the game. It was Kevin Love who got switched on Steph Curry and had to sit up there and guard Steph out there on the perimeter and force him into a miss. Because that shouldn't have been able to happen. Because he was at a disadvantage. So like I shouldn't be seeing Jokic down there operating on the block versus no damn small forward, shooting guard, or point guard. But because these motherfuckers switching everything, you end up with that shit happening. You shouldn't see LeBron matched up against Steph. But that's what LeBron gonna do. All these battles you've seen LeBron have with the Golden State Warriors, all LeBron be doing, hey, whoever Steph guarding, he gonna call for that person, come set a screen. They gonna switch Steph on LeBron. LeBron is 6'9", 287 pounds, and Steph is 6'3". Used to be, I would have said 187 pounds, but Steph been on them weights. I'm gonna give Steph 205. Okay, so 6'3", 205 versus 6'9", 287 pounds. Who the fuck you think supposed to win that battle? Come on, man. Stop switching every goddamn thing. Teach these guys how to play some defense. Teach these guys how to hedge, how to show on the screen roll action. Tell them motherfuckers to tag on the back end, goddamn it. And we need to scramble and get back to who the fuck we supposed to be guarding. But see, that takes some work. That takes some effort. That takes some practice. That takes some continuity. Okay, it takes some chemistry. Motherfuckers ain't got that. But that's another reason why scoring is up. It's another reason why scoring is up. So no, I'm not impressed. Not impressed. Based on these things, the fact that guys are shooting more threes than ever, which is a good thing. The fact that they have more spacing, which is a good thing. You should have more scoring. The fact that these players have more freedom to display their God-given ability, which is a good thing. You should have more scoring. But the last two is why I have to say I'm not as impressed. Because there clearly have been rules changes and there have been rules that have not been enforced to facilitate more scoring. And we clearly have a lack of defense due to lack of intensity and lack of effort and lack of proper strategy. So the NBA got to find a balance, a happy medium, so we'll have a better product, okay? Because I still love this game. Put it on something.
Please subscribe to my daddy's YouTube channel because the more subscribers he gets, the more attractive he looks to sponsors. The more attractive he looks to sponsors, the more money he can make. And the more money he can make, the more money he can spend on me.